We're live.
We are.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. If you're joining us live, if you're watching it back, hello. And I'm very sorry for everything that we're about to talk about for the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes. If you've watched this before, you know that the purpose of this is normally to try and bring a little bit of brevity. You know, we do like to poke fun at people, just as a nod to how completely ridiculous a lot of these posts are. But that's not today. Today's very heavy.
Yep. I'm like raging already. We haven't started.
I know. I can like my blood pressure. I would say it's rising, but I just don't think it's fallen since Tuesday evening.
No.
Yeah. So we today are just talking about the election, and we're talking about everything that's come since that was completely predictable, but still horrific and shocking, and it's just been an absolute shit show across social media.
Yep.
And it's everywhere. It's not just in the US, it's everywhere. Every country, women across the globe and men across the globe have seen this as declaring open season on misogyny.
Yeah.
And it's fucking gross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which we knew would happen. But you have just pointed out to me something that I hadn't realised, which seems very weird.
Yes, the biggest braggart in the history of mankind we haven't seen him since like 3:00 in the morning in the US. So where is he? What's happening? It's very weird.
I've checked his
Why
Twitter.
Is he not voting?
And the last thing he posted was 2 days ago, and it said 1 hour till California elections close, and that's it.
He might have done what I did and like smashed his phone. It was an accident. But yeah, his phone might be broken. They've taken it off him. I don't know. But he hasn't been out. He hasn't been seen out in public. He hasn't done any speeches or celebratory rallies. It's just weird.
Yeah, that seems very odd. Very odd to me. Unless something's brewing. You know, they were preparing things. I heard there was speculation that things were being prepared in the background, legal
things.
I don't know, but yeah, it's
getting sentenced at the end of the month, isn't he? As well, so he might be.
Yeah, I mean, everything else aside, it truly is astonishing that someone that has already been found guilty of offences can even run for like, I get the American dream as like anyone could be president, but but to me it doesn't make sense that somebody with convictions is there. I mean, I think the closest we've ever come really is Boris Johnson in the UK, but and maybe that's naive, that it feels like, would we have tolerated that here? But then
the fact he shouldn't even have been allowed to vote, so like felons aren't allowed to vote.
He wouldn't even be allowed to vote in the election that he's running for. None of it makes things that we could sit here and try and rationalise it till the cows come home. I don't think it makes sense to anyone.
And we just have to just let it not make sense. And I think if we don't, we'll just send ourselves like mad with what happened. I don't understand.
Yeah.
And of course, guess who are being blamed?
Women. Well, white women in particular have been blamed. Now, I am not defending the huge numbers of white women that did turn up and vote for Trump, because I also think they're going to be getting their comeuppance. They're going to be suffering along with the rest of us. Voting for him will not protect them from what is to come. But yes, the rhetoric seems to be that it's all women's fault, white women's fault in particular, because of course, if we're going to blame someone, we blame women.
Yeah. Well, Biden got blamed for putting a woman in charge as well. So it's like, what's that thing you always say about the pointing?
Like a compass points north, a man's accusing finger will always find a woman.
There we go.
Will always find a woman. And yeah, like I said, not in defense of the women that voted, because I'm fucking furious at them as well. But just to add some level of rationality to that argument, here is, if we take out men's votes and only look at women's votes, this is what it would have looked like.
Yeah.
So, and I think so. This is true generally as a whole. Women were more in favour of Harris.
Yeah.
But if we want to blame a group, it's men.
Yeah.
Again, it's men. It's men who voted. Men of all races as well. Only within the Black community did we see women come out in force for Harris. In all other groups, men were more in support of Trump. And it's some justice has started to be dealt swift and painfully. I saw a video of a Latino man very upset on TikTok because he had sent his children out to play in the neighborhood with the neighborhood white children, and then their parent basically said they didn't want his children playing with his children, and that he should go back where he came from. And he felt incensed because he voted for Trump, and in his mind he was one of the gang, and they said no thank you. Yeah, I didn't feel bad about that at all.
That's kind of fuck around and find out, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
But vote against your interests. Vote for mass deportation of your fellow, countrymen, and this is what happens. So it emboldens other people. It emboldens other racists, other misogynists, other homophobes. It's just.
Well, this thing, if you can act like that and be all of those things and still be president, what does that say? What standard does that set for normal people?
It was bad the first time, but his rhetoric's been worse this time.
And this thing, people can't say they didn't know. People cannot say that they didn't know what he was like and what his policies and his rhetoric was based around. Everyone knew, and I saw a post this week that summed it up perfectly, and it said, not all Trump supporters are homophobes, racists, rapists, ableists. The list goes on, but they all decided that it wasn't a deal breaker because he is all of those things and has been proven to be all of those things.
Yeah.
And hasn't hidden the fact that he is all of those things.
You know what drives me the most insane? And I say this the day I die. Christians. Literally, the one tenet to Christianity is love thy neighbour. I
think in Christianity as we know it, as we experience it here in the UK, there's always pockets. There are always pockets. A lot of organised religion does not fare well for anyone, women, LGBTQ community. It's not always that accepting. But the extreme conservative Christianity over there, well, they've been running the show. I mean, he's aligned himself with them from day one.
Yeah. They are looking for the rapture, aren't they? In the biblical apocalypse and all of that stuff. So it's death cult, let's face it. So,
and he's openly said that he is going to be a dictator from day one. Those are his words.
When people tell you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
Don't think if you vote for him it makes you immune from the consequences of giving him power.
Yeah. Anyway.
What else have we seen in the world?
Well, and like we said, it's open fucking season. And They have not disappointed. Shall I play the video, the viral video?
You have to. Yep.
Okay, if you haven't seen this one, lucky
Apologies.
You. But if you have heard the phrase, "Your body, my choice," this is where it came from.
The feel when you're totally not pressed. The feel when we control your bodies. Hey, bitch, we control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again, okay? Men win again. And yes, we control your bodies. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. It's your body, my choice. And men, women again. Men win again. There will never, ever be a female president. Never. There will never be a female president, ever. It's over. Glass ceiling. Dude, it's a ceiling made of fucking bricks. You will never break it.
That's enough of him.
I'd quite happily push him off a cliff.
Throat punch him. Then push him off a cliff.
Kick him in the balls and then push him off a cliff.
Yeah. All of the things. So that video is it's just everywhere across social media. And
but the sad thing is,
as a result,
7-8-year-olds have seen it. 7-8-year-old boys have seen it.
Yeah. So we are getting numerous reports from parents, not just in the US, in the UK, Australia, I've seen of, young school children, boys, chanting this at other female students.
Yeah. Children.
Children.
7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds.
Yeah. Which, do you know, I'm just...
Yeah.
You talk for a minute now.
Yes. The white rage that I experienced when I saw this guy. And he tweeted it as well because, he's a dick.
Well, there's just no shame. There's
no.
It's
like
this
college rapist says what type of
well thing. This comes in this the same week as I've seen the video that's doing the rounds about the college students in Australia. A report was written assessing the level of violence, sexual violence against students across the campus. And when they had a meeting, a bunch of boys sat at the back and ripped the report to pieces while laughing. Yeah. And I think to assume that these are outliers and extreme examples would be foolish, because it's not. This attitude, especially amongst young people, is becoming more and more prevalent.
Yeah, it's the male feeling of entitlement towards women's, girls, children's bodies.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
And when we can see this play out at such a visible level, I mean, this idea that he is the leader of the free world is, it's just saying
26 accusations of rape, and one way definitely had to pay out some money. So
he was found liable in the civil court.
Yeah.
Which is basically the same as being found guilty. And just not to mention everything else. Like selling secrets. And I mean, the idea that this man loves America and loves his country is laughable with the things that he's done.
And I know why our politicians have done it, but it was so galling to see their messages of congratulation. It was galling. Oh, it was so bad.
Do you know what? I did see one clip. It was really short, and I can't remember the name of the woman that was in the clip, but she was interviewed for something this week, and I think she was asked, would you do you feel like you need to take back what you said about him being a racist and a misogynist? And she was like, well, he is those things, but we do have to find, obviously he's now the president, so we now have to find a way to work with him. And I just thought, yes. And she was like really criticized in the comments, you can't say that. And she's like, but he is those things, like it,
But I don't think he's allowed a visa because he's got a felony to actually come to the UK to visit.
But also, what's her name? The Conservative woman that everyone fucking hates at the moment. She was up in Parliament going, is the Labour leader going to apologise for the comments that were made about Donald Trump? And like, and I think the response was, we will work with them, and just completely ignored it. So we're not publicly apologising for the things that we said because they were.
And I think we need to realise as a country, America doesn't give a shit about us.
Yeah.
Really doesn't.
I mean, yes,
we're a tiny island miles away.
No. And yes, of course, they have to play nice. They've got to deal with them. But I think whatever respect we have for our government, which is hanging on by a fucking thread, would not be done any favours if our government then started suddenly fawning over him. Like, say it like it.
And your man who's supposed to be in Clacton representing his constituents, but hightailed it over there to see his very one-sided best friend.
Ugh.
Horrid.
So, should we
share
a few more examples?
Yes. Within the Texas State University stuff.
Which one was that? Oh, yes.
They're the banners. There's multiple examples.
Yeah.
So this was at a rally at Texas State University. Types of property: women, slaves, animals, cars, land, etc. Brilliant.
Yep. There was another image of a guy just holding up a banner that just said "Women are property."
Yeah.
Like, fuck the rest of it. Women are property. And yeah, it's just The thing is, the people that watch this will go, "That's horrific," because we think it's horrific. And I learned this week that the echo chamber did fucking get me good. I generally had a lot of hope that this wasn't going to be the result. And if it was, I was expecting it to be close. Not trouncing.
My echo chamber, she was going to win by a landslide.
Yeah.
No, turns out it was wrong. And listening to the news and reading papers and going on social media, clearly it's because we didn't.
All the women, that came together and rallied and formed groups and donated and spread the word and
just the joy and love, and it was literally like a Taylor Swift-esque campaign, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're still going though. The Harris supporters are talking about creating blue friendship bracelets so they can identify each other.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a woman put a post up and she was like, "How are we?" She's like, "Women, how are we identifying each other?" She was like, "I've just dropped my kid off at the school gates," and she goes,
"Looking at people like this."
Yeah, these fucking women. She's like, "I don't know." She goes, "Are they my friends?" She's like, "Fuck them bitches." She's like, "We need some sort of identifier so that we know who each other are." But I've seen so many people talk about, it's just politics, and you shouldn't fall out with people, because people are saying, "I'm not going to be friends with you if you voted Trump. I'm not going to speak to my family if you voted Trump." People are like, "Oh, it's just politics and we should respect each other's views." No, fuck that.
Oh, I saw a wonderful video last night. So a young gay guy who's married in like New York, and he does really well for himself. So, and it's all of his family apart from his sister in Tennessee voted for Trump, but he's like, you voted for this guy who's going to make me richer. I'm already rich. I'm already doing really well. I'm already paying for holidays. I'm already treating everybody. And from now on, you've just voted against my right to, be married to my husband. So you all go fuck yourselves. And apart from my sister in Tennessee, she will be sport rotten. But the rest of you, I was just like, yeah. So he's actually, at risk now, because if we believe what they put out in the Project 2025 nonsense, gay marriage off the table.
Well, this is the thing. I think, in most, like a lot of our, a lot of our elections, yes, if someone said they were a Tory voter, I'd be a bit like, I'm not sure we'll ever be besties. But then our basic human rights aren't on the docket for our elections. Like those things are protected, enshrined in law for the most part.
Well, they are trying to fight against it, but yes.
But they're not on the table. But I think when somebody is voting for somebody who wants to strip away the basic human rights to healthcare, and we are seeing women dying as a result of not being able to access healthcare because of
during miscarriages or
and that's going to get worse. That's what you're voting for. You're saying, I've seen all of that and that's okay with me. It's a matter that then it becomes a matter of basic human decency and a matter of values. And I think it's totally okay to tell those people to go fuck themselves and not have that energy in your life. Because why would you? Why would you? You wouldn't. No. If it wasn't about the election and you met somebody and they're like, I'm okay with racism, I'm okay with misogyny, I'm okay with stripping away basic healthcare, I'm okay with getting rid of healthcare for the poorest people, I would say I don't want to be friends with you. Who they vote for just now makes it just even fucking easier. They don't have to say it. I already know that's what they think.
Yep. But the economy
was fucked under Donald Trump.
Yep.
was fucked. All of his claims that he's the one that, got the country back on his feet, he managed it through COVID and fucked it.
Yeah. It's like, this is the man, the only man in the history of the planet to ever bankrupt a casino.
That feels like that should be a hard thing to do as well. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The amount of money that plows through those things. That feels like yeah. Well,
did you see the Vanity Fair cover?
Yes.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. Well done, Vanity Fair.
They picked the best picture as well. But he's threatening to shut down all of the news places anyway, so it might be one of the last episodes. So
might not see Vanity Fair again now.
Or he might be talking a fair game and just use this entire election to take as much money out of the US economy and into his own pocket, and he won't do anything. And that uncertainty is actually...
So it's not just him, because he actually, which is why, the Biden-Harris administration couldn't get some of these things done, because it's not just up to them. It's up to Congress, now the Senate, and now Republicans have taken control of the Senate. They have control of the Supreme Court. He may not actually have a choice, because he doesn't always get the deciding vote. So the stuff that's going through, and what was buried on election day as well was the in Florida they brought a bill to overturn the 6-week ban on abortion, and that was denied, voted down.
Yeah. And the Californians thought it'd be a good time to deny rent control and slavery, actually. So what?
So and this thing, because it's now devolved to the states, you're not just fighting one fight, you're fighting the fight in multiple places,
50 places.
Yes. And it's that divide and conquer, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to start coming for other things. They're already coming for no-fault divorce. They're coming for... in some states, they've already passed bills that will prevent you from filing for a divorce if you are pregnant.
If you're pregnant. Oh, it's just like...
So those women that are experiencing domestic violence, which goes up during pregnancy, that is actually...
Yes, it's the leading cause of death in pregnancy
in the US.
Murder.
Yeah, the last 2 years, it's the number one leading cause of death of pregnant women is being unalived by their partner.
Did you get asked that? I got asked that question when I was pregnant by the health visitor.
No.
About being at risk of domestic violence.
No, but I think she knew I was a single mum.
Yes, so was I.
Even when I was pregnant. No, I wasn't asked that, but yes, I understand they do ask it routinely now.
Yeah.
And yes, and they want to stop you doing that. They want to stop women being able to leave violent relationships. They want to stop women from having control over their own body. They want to force women, well, and men, into families that they didn't want.
Yeah.
Because again, all these men that are just like, stop access to abortion, stop access. They're all going to have to pay fucking child support for these kids.
Oh, but that's
for the next 18 years.
It's so just... like last week we talked about the incubating robots.
Yeah.
That are just going to miraculously bring themselves up without any money or effort involved. But yeah, it's that again, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's like, do they not think about this?
No.
There's they're trying to ban tubal ligation as an elective procedure. So for women that are just like, I can't get access, I don't want to have children. And it's not just in the US as well. What was going to be on the list this week was Russia are now trying to ban content that speaks about a child-free life. They see it as propaganda and it's encouraging women to not have babies. And now they are trying to ban child-free content on social media.
So, talking about Russia, and this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I can't help but giggle about the North Korean soldiers that are now in Russia with the first time ever having access to the internet that's unfiltered, and they're all being addicted to porn. Yep.
It's just a fucking shit show everywhere. Yeah. There's a report of 134 women in Sudan killed themselves because they knew what was going to happen to them, what was coming for them. It's God.
Yes, it's a shit show. It's an absolute shit show. And this is why us talking about this and other women talking about this and getting the men who want to talk about this and not discouraging them for not getting everything right. So James has put a couple of posts out this week about white privilege, and he has been eviscerated from men, from women. Like everything he says is not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Everything we say is not going to be perfect.
No.
But we are trying. And what do you want James to then start going, you know what? Bollocks to the lot of you. I'm not going to talk about male allyship anymore.
Yeah.
Have the fight yourself if you're going to criticize me.
Yeah. We need to create safe spaces for men to get involved in the discussion. Fair enough, the ones that are disingenuous and just want to be twats. Like, we don't need to create space for them at all.
No.
But men who are trying to get involved, we have to nurture them and we have to encourage them. Yes, by all means, correct them or inform them privately if you can.
Publicly, like, try to humiliate them.
No.
It's like, no.
We need their voices to balance out all the other fucking toads. Like this one. This is something I've been seeing everywhere. We've got another example of this as well. Men now just openly declaring that they can take what they want from women as far as they're concerned, that women don't have a say.
Yeah.
The 4B movement is obviously,
people have been Googling that, like, and how to move to Scotland. I don't know why they want to move to Scotland, but there's plenty of land in the Highlands, I suppose. But
yeah. I think there's going to be quite a few women emigrating. A friend of mine, she works for a business that solely supports expats in business stuff. And she said since the result, they've been inundated with questions about emigrating out of America.
Yes. Oh, I know. And loads of people have got fought for the last 10 years to get passports.
Yeah.
It's like dual nationality passports based on their parentage, and it's like Jesus.
Oh, and this guy, in his profile says he's Catholic. That's what he says. Yeah, and calls himself a journalist. He's not.
No, he's a dude with a microphone.
A fucking.
What do we say to those guys?
Stop giving men microphones. I'm not singing it today. I'm not in a singing mood. So yeah, there's this one and this one. Again, nothing at all offensive about the original poster. Just said, you're going to be judged on how you treat people. And then this guy, whose photo looks like a fucking photo fit or a mugshot from being arrested.
Yeah, for serial killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when Olivia...
let's take that down now.
Yeah. When she said to Twitter, like reported it for like hate, apparently it came back as no violations.
Oh, well, let's talk about this then, shall we? Let's talk about this.
It was almost like as if we'd actually prepared it.
The fucking censorship. By the way, I'm recording this video on another platform, just in case LinkedIn decides that it doesn't want to show the recording, because we're just about to slag it off. I'm just about to slag it off. Now, look, don't get me wrong, and I know you're probably going to say LinkedIn's a professional platform, and LinkedIn perhaps may be more strict around this kind of content because of that. I get that, but
the rules are so woolly, though.
They just I posted on Wednesday, and the post was I didn't even fucking swear at it, which is unheard of for me.
I'm sure I've got it in a message here. I think I've actually got what the post said. Because you said, is this okay? And I'm like,
yeah. So I just said I'm just heartbroken. I'm devastated. I thought she would win. She hasn't. And I said, I'm going to say it. It's misogyny and racism. People would rather have a convicted felon in the White House than a black woman. So yeah, it was controversial. It was a controversial take, but it resonated with a lot of women. I had a lot of comments from women. I had a lot of comments from women who said, I really needed to read this today. Women who feel that they have been the most targeted by this. And then someone DM'd me and said, what happened to your post? And I went, and it had just gone, vanished.
So this is your post because you sent it to me.
Yeah. No notification, no explanation. Like at least on TikTok, when they delete my comments or my posts, they say, we've removed your comment or your post for these reasons. But LinkedIn, nothing. It's just vanished.
Disappeared.
And other women have said the same thing. They've shared posts that they were deleted. Another woman said that she was trying to share a post, and when she went to hit publish, she was getting the error message. Oh, oops, try again. Again, not telling her why or what was in the post that it didn't like. She said, oops, try again. So in the end, she ended up not posting it because she couldn't. Every time she edited it, I think it was the fact that she mentioned his name. And I think they probably had some kind of blanket ban on content that was about the US election on Wednesday.
Yeah,
probably
so it's
like the rest of this week.
But I did it as well, though. I posted something. So I did a screenshot about America as a cohort has just voted for a rapist and a felon rather than a woman, and that confirms a lot of what women strongly suspected men honestly feel about us. So I didn't say Trump. I basically, my comment was sending so much love to women, minorities, and vulnerable people in America, and a broken heart emoji.
Yeah. What I should have done was put my post into a series of images.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, if you don't have a description, LinkedIn can't read the image. And it does look for tries to detect nudity and stuff, but it doesn't. It can't actually detect.
Yeah, we're not going to post nudity on LinkedIn. What else have we got in the was there any other bits and pieces?
No, that was it on the post. But I think I've seen this. I've just seen so much this, what we've said is is just a
tip of the iceberg.
And it's on every woman that I've seen that's posted about the election on the Harris side has these comments. And they're having a fucking field day. They're misogynists, they're rapists, they are having a fucking field day.
Yeah. And because they've got ultimate permission to.
Yeah. They've just been given permission to be the very worst versions of themselves. And they have taken it and run with it. And I've seen, a few people have sort of said to me this week, like even on the post that I posted on Wednesday, try not to get too deflated and stay positive and, it's not all lost and all this and the other. And I just think that toxic positivity could get in the fucking bin this week. And I know a lot of other women feel the same. And I think even my response to her was like, I get it. Yeah. And maybe I'll do that tomorrow. But right now I'm sitting in my feels. I'm sitting.
Oh, yes. It's so on there. So, yeah. I told James, don't try and fix me today. Just leave me alone.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried to, I think I put a post up on LinkedIn to say, oh, if you commented on my post this morning, it's been fucking deleted. It's a bit like message received LinkedIn. I'll just stick to fucking business content then. And
that you refuse to promote because I'm talking about business content. Like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, you don't want to promote that because it's boring. It's not interesting. Yeah. So I'm definitely taking steps to rebuild my community off here
elsewhere,
and just use LinkedIn for my profession and my business, which makes me sad and fills me with anger and frustration. But at the same time, this thing, they have us over a barrel, because I've built my business on LinkedIn. It's my primary source of income. If my account were suddenly taken down with no notice,
like other people's have been,
happened to other people in the last couple of weeks for sharing far less controversial content than me, I would, I've kind of become accustomed to things like paying my rent and buying food. Yeah. And so that the fear, I need to create, my community not on here, because LinkedIn does not want me to talk about this. Doesn't want anyone to talk about this, really. So it's been a bit of a blow on all fronts, and not being able to say what I wanted to say and connect with women, because that was the biggest thing for me, is when I put that post out, is the connecting with other women that felt the same. And having that community, which is why we're here. And it does feel like they want to silence us and stop us from connecting with each other, because we are stronger together.
Yeah, because then obviously we're all being hysterical and dramatic and sensitive and no, we are using our eyes.
Yeah. It's always been a David and Goliath fight, women against the patriarchy. But I think it's also a stark reminder of how fragile our rights really are, all the while they're in the hands of powerful, insecure men. We can lose them, and seeing women, in their 60s and 70s out here protesting abortion rights when they were doing that 50 years ago. I just can't imagine what they must be feeling. Can't believe I'm fucking out here doing this shit again. Yeah. So,
on that note,
I feel like, I'm going to go and crawl under a blanket and sob for probably the next hour. And I'm just, we're going to keep fighting. Of course, we're going to keep fighting. It's a setback. We don't have the privilege of giving up. Anyone that's new to the feminist fight and feels like, what's the point? Please keep going. We need everyone. And we will just see what kind of fucking hellscape the next 4 years is going to bring us.
Yep. Oh, and the rest, because he says that he's not going to ever.
Well, yeah.
Maybe he's going to need to vote again. So
it's at least the next 4 years, if not longer. Yeah, I mean, the way he's been talking, he seems to be planning to make it impossible for us to vote him out, which is a true dictator, someone who's in power and cannot be democratically voted out.
Yeah. We haven't talked about Elon Musk. Maybe that's next
not
week.
That fucking shitbag. Honestly, and he's already said there's going to be a complete.
Feels like a thrown a grenade over.
Yeah, he's predicted a complete crash of the economy.
Yeah, and we just have to suck it up.
And welcomed it and act like it's a good thing.
Yeah, because the last time the American economy crashed due to subprime mortgages, it didn't impact the rest of the world.
He needs to get on his rocket and fuck off to space. Nobody needs him. Nobody needs that man. But he'll be in the fucking White House before you know it. He'll be in some
because he's going to slash government spending, apparently. And then they're going to put RFK in as the health minister, so a guy who doesn't believe in vaccines or fluoride in water or women's bodies, because his wife killed herself because of his journals of all of his affairs that she found. Fun times. Good dude.
Yeah, we got a lot of faith in those people to protect our interests.
No.
Yeah. So yeah,
anyway,
just sorry guys. There's no upside. There's no upside. There is no positives that come out of this. Only fear and upset and grief and all of the things. But as somebody pointed out to me, Kamala is still a fucking hero. She's still our hero. We may get her next time. She's still going to be out there doing her thing, and I'm going to still be supporting her and everything she does. Not necessarily agreeing with everything she says, but supporting the overall mission, because I do think she is I do think she is good for our future. Yep. So yeah, there's a lot of other stuff. There's so much else that we could have said, but we are going to be cut off quite soon. Well, in about a minute. So guys, if you want to talk about this, our DMs are open. If you want to share your frustration, I see that you've shared a lot of comments, which we'll respond to afterwards. But come find us on other platforms as well if you want to stay close, because we're not going to be able to share the stuff we really want to share on here. But yeah, thanks for tuning in and for your support and encouragement.
Lots of love.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
See ya.